I work on people's hearts in a different kind of way. And what I've learned is that there's a process that's involved in this. And what I want you to do is look at that dot, and at some level, if you were to write a question mark over top, and that dot is the dot on the question mark, that's where some of you are. Some of you are questioning, this looks good, but can I really do this? Who am I to think that I could be there? Some of you will come to the point where that dot becomes a period, and you have a sense of saying, yes, I've made a decision. And then you will go from that point to where that dot is the dot at an exclamation point where you are living boldly. And frankly, what you've got in Take Shape for Life is a vehicle that allows you to go from the question mark to the statement to the proclamation of who you are and living into it. Now, what I want to do is spend some time on the question mark side of that, because I think, frankly, that's the reality. Years ago, I was invited by a company to go around the country and do leadership training for them. And in the course of that, I was in 5 different locations around the United States. And the night before, I handed out a card, and I asked people to fill it out. I did a survey. And I said to them, tell me what your greatest obstacle to success is. Well, I'm a business advisor, MBA, graduate degrees, all these sorts of things, have my own business now for 26 years. So I'm expecting that all the sort of stuff they're going to write down are going to be business things. I don't have enough money. I don't have a good marketing plan. I don't know how to manage people well. All of these business things are coming along. The results I got were stunning. It's the reason why people do surveys. What I discovered was that 32% of the people said their greatest obstacle to success is fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of maybe facing something in their life that they didn't really want to face. Maybe facing their past in a way that they've never had to face before. As I read those, I was moved to tears in some cases, the way that people would actually confess to a stranger on paper the things that were going on in their lives. Some people actually wrote me long paragraphs about all the fears and phobias they had. So that was 32% of it. 28% of them said time management. Some of you probably feel the same way. I'm just overwhelmed. I've got time management issues, and how do I make this work, and how does all of this pull together? And in fact, time management is a major issue for many of us. And so that was 28%. The next piece, which was pretty surprising as well, is a collection of things that came up, which I can only describe collectively as me, myself, and I. I get in my own way. Does anybody feel like they get in their own way? Yeah, I'm with you. I've written a book called The On-Purpose Person and The On-Purpose Business, but you got to remember, those of us who write, we write about that we struggle with the most. So I always tell people, please don't introduce me as the on-purpose person. That's the book I wrote. I'm Kevin McCarthy. Okay? So what happens is you start to look at this and you say, well, wait a minute, if it's me, myself, and I get in my own way. We all do. So welcome to the human race. But what was interesting is if you look at it and you say 32%, 28%, and 25%, 80% of your challenges are within you. 80% are within you. Now, think about it. Do you lack good products? Do you lack training? Do you lack an ability to earn? Do you lack, in essence, health? You have an opportunity towards health? You lack nothing around that circle. The difference is the dot. The difference is the dot. And so as you're able to look at this sense of who am I? Who am I in the midst of this? Is one of those great life questions that we all face. And as we look at this great life question of who am I, we come up against fear. We come up against time management. We come up against me, myself, and I. And what these are, they're smoke screens. They're smoke screens that distract you from the essence of understanding who you are. Let me unravel these things quickly for you. When you look at fear, it is the absence of faith. How do you grow faith? You grow faith by experiencing it. You grow faith by trying. You grow faith by stretching. I was talking with one of the globals before we came out on stage earlier, and she said, I was nervous as could be yesterday up here speaking. She said, I've never done that. And I said, congratulations, you grew yesterday, didn't you? The next time it'll be easier. She faced the fear. The next time, the next time, the next time. And because she's a global and will soon be a presidential, get used to getting up here. That's a good thing. So you face that fear. Time management. I've got a friend of mine from Denton, Texas. He's a good old Texas boy, and he talks with a southern drawl, and he gets up there. And we were talking about time management one time, and he gave me an expression that I want to share with you. And Tom said, do you know why guys drive four-wheel drive vehicles? I said, why is that, Tom? He said, so they can get lost further off the road. I drive a four-wheel drive. You know, when you're trying to do time management and you really don't know who you are, all you're doing is getting lost further off the road faster. So time management isn't the issue. It's really a matter of knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you know what to say no to, you know what to say yes to, and all of a sudden life becomes a whole lot simpler because you know who you are. Then the next one, me, myself, and I. That's got who am I all over it again. Do you understand that all of these issues, fear, time management, me, myself, and I, are an absence of knowing who you are? I imagine there's a few people in here that are American Idol fans. All right? Yeah, you can clap. What's the one thing you consistently hear from them as they are judging Randy, Paula, and Simon? They're saying you don't know who you are as an artist. In other words, they're saying you're not living authentically. You're not singing authentically. And in much the same way, in this business that you're a part of, if you don't have the music in your heart, you're not going to come out with the authentic self that you are. Now, it's okay to stumble out there. It's okay to verbalize. It's okay to just, stutter and figure it out and tell somebody I don't know as you're learning. That is all part of the process. Years ago, I had an opportunity where I was speaking out in Aspen, Colorado. And as I was riding a bus to go to this big dinner that the client was having at this really neat restaurant called Krablunix, as I recall is the name of it, I'm sitting next to a gentleman. I introduced myself. He says his name is Bob. He's from Hollywood. I said, Bob, what do you do in Hollywood? He says, I'm an acting coach. I said, really? What are you doing here? He said, well, the client that we had hired me to work with his people who are doing presentations so that they can give a presentation. I said, by any chance are you going to be in my speaking engagement that I'm doing? He said, yeah, I'll be there. I said, could I see you afterwards and maybe you give me some tips? So I go do my speaking engagement, and I'm looking for, I meet people, sign books, and then I run off to go see Bob. I say, Bob, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Help me become a better speaker. What do I need to do? And Bob said to me, you know how somebody gets quiet, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, man, he's just getting his thoughts organized, trying to pull it all together and what he's going to say. And Bob's sitting there scratching his chin, and he finally looks up at me and he goes, Kevin, do you know who Arnold Palmer is? I said, yeah, I know who Arnold Palmer is. I grew up in western Pennsylvania. I'm a Pittsburgh native, and I know who Arnold Palmer is. And he said, do you ever see him swing a golf club? I said, yes, I have. I said, he doesn't have the prettiest swing, but he sure has an effective one. He said, Kevin, that's you.